Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Adjustments Work Session, July 8th, 2026, and the time is 5:36 p.m. Going to call, do we have any members that need to be sworn in?
Madam Chair, I do not believe there are anyone that signed up. Please proceed.
Thank you. Does legal counsel have any updates for us?
No, ma'am.
Then let's go directly to our staff and see the reviews on the cases that we have coming before us tonight.
Good evening, board members. Gina Costanza Grant with the Planning Department. We have 3 cases tonight. However, our very first case, 2026-133 BOA on 505 West 4th Street, we realized was notified incorrectly. So we need to postpone this case to the August 12th meeting for re-notification. We have let the applicant know they are fine with that. They're prepared to come back on the August 12th meeting. And so we will make sure we resend that notification and that it gets done correctly the next time around and bring this case back to you next month.
Is this the case dealing with Ellis? Oh, pardon me. Yeah, Ellis.
Yes,
Bernard Ellis, is
on
that the
4th
case?
Street, yes,
Okay, so that one will not be coming before us today.
correct. We'll bring it
Thank
back
you.
next month.
You will have to act on it to postpone it. So we will go ahead and skip to the next case, which is 2026-136 BOA. It is located at 2011 Bradford Street. The request is a special exception to allow a carport within the established front yard setback. The staff finds that the request does not comply with section 1.15.5. We did receive 1 comment form in support. We did not receive any in opposition. This is the aerial map of the property under consideration. And this is the future land use map. The property owner notification map. And the surrounding zoning map. The property is zoned for R6 as well as all the surrounding properties. And we did also do a map of the subject property highlighted in blue, as well as we like to show if there are other carports in the area that were previously granted through the site plan zoning process. There was one that we found. We usually do a 1/4 mile radius, and within a 1/4 mile radius, we did find one. It's noted in orange here on the map. So that was one carport that we did find within the vicinity that was granted by a generalized site plan on the zoning map. And this is the site plan that the applicant has provided to us for the carport in question. For this particular request, the carport has already been constructed, and they actually received a notice of violation from the Code Enforcement Department for constructing a structure without a permit. So they did go ahead and apply for their permit, but it is on hold pending the Board of Adjustment action, and that is typical. It's just to show that they are trying to remedy the violation until a determination can be made by the board. This particular neighborhood, even though it's zoned R6, it has a required front yard setback of 25 feet. However, for this particular neighborhood, the homes were built further back than that, so we observe an established front yard setback. For this particular neighborhood, we take an average of the homes, the setback that the homes were built at, and we got that average at 37.5 feet. So the homes were built about an average of 37 feet back from the property line. The proposed setback for this particular carport would be 21 feet, and that would be a variance of approximately 16.5 feet. We've tried to kind of illustrate those measurements for you here in the green circle. You'll also see in your staff report that there are 7 criteria that the applicant is supposed to meet. I can briefly go through those. If they don't meet all of those criteria, the determination is that the variant or the special exception should not be granted. The first one is that the carport will be 10 feet or more from the property line. Since this is proposed at 21, that particular criteria does comply. The carport complies with other applicable regulations. That's criteria number 2, and it does. Criteria number 3 is that at least one of the following conditions exists. That the primary dwelling was originally built with either a one-car garage or no garage, or there are other legally permitted or legal non-conforming carports on the block face that encroach into the front yard setback, or the carport will accommodate a disabled person's ability to access, use, and enjoy the dwelling. In this particular case, there is a rear one-car garage access from the front driveway. So for that particular case, it does not meet the criteria. For number 4, there is no access to the rear of the property through an improved alley. There is a rear unimproved alley that exists. The alley is open and accessible, but is not paved or maintained. Criteria number 5 is that there is not adequate width between the home and a side property line to provide vehicular access to the rear yard, and that would accommodate a covered parking structure. In this case, the property does have an existing driveway back to the rear garage and shop constructed in 2008. In criteria number 6, there is not adequate width on the side of the home behind the required front building line that would accommodate a covered parking structure. And in this instance, there is an existing driveway on the side of the property, so it does not comply with that particular criteria. Number 7, the size, height, and location of the carport will not have a detrimental impact on the adjacent properties. It does comply with that. In this particular case, the staff has found that the request does not comply with section 1.15.5, but we do have some photos of the property in question. This is looking at the property with the existing carport. And this is north of the subject property, to the south and to the east. And this is, again, the site plan, and I'm happy to take any questions you all may have.
Does anyone have any questions?
I do. So the city is recommending, or you don't recommend anything? Or are you recommending that it be?
Well, we don't make a recommendation. It's based on whether it meets the criteria,
And
and
it doesn't?
it does not.
So the option is for them to rebuild or redo?
The option would be for them to remove the carport and construct another sheltered covering in an area that would comply with the regulations.
Okay.
Gina, I have a question, and I guess maybe I misheard you, because I'm confused. Item 3, at least one of the following conditions exists. And so it has a one-car garage, so it does comply, correct?
Correct, I misspoke.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Can I speak to anything? No, not here. Okay, thanks.
Does anyone else have questions?
One more question. So, if it doesn't meet the requirements, then the idea is that they'd have to resubmit a permit or ask for a permit?
They would have to submit a permit if they wanted to reconstruct in a different portion of the property.
And then get it approved?
Correct.
And then proceed?
Jocelyn, do we have a process for them removing the existing structure?
I would expect there probably is a permit to remove. It's, because normally when there's anything involved with a structure, but that's something we'd have to ask. Normally, back to your question a second ago, typically, if somebody submits for a building permit and it doesn't meet the regulations, that's when y'all see it or council sees it. So a permit is not in lieu of a variance. It's, you have to get the variance before you can get the building permit, because you either have to comply with the regulations or you have to get the variance to not have to comply. So it's a step in that process.
And typically, just because there is the outstanding code violation, that is just kind of put on hold until this process is completed. But then, once a decision is realized, the code enforcement would follow up to make sure that the structure is removed if there is no approval. Oh, yes.
Would you please turn on your mic? Would you repeat what you said?
It's on, it's on.
I just wanted you to go back to the pictures. So it doesn't extend all the way across, obviously. Okay.
Again, just to reiterate, all of these criteria, the way council adopted the ordinance, all the criteria have to be met in order for a carport to be approved. The last criteria, there is one that says, you know, whether is there any substantial impact on the adjacent properties, but that's just one of the criteria, but all the others have to be met.
I'd like a clarification too. You said this is saying there's no alley, but didn't you mention there is an alley, it's just not improved?
That's correct. You can kind of see the alley back here.
It appears to be used but not paved when we were looking at it.
So they have a back entrance into the property.
Correct.
They do. Again, it's not paved, so if the word improved would assume that it's paved. Our biggest concern here is that there is a driveway into the rear, and again, that is one of our criteria. Other neighbors in the area do use the alley for their rear access, but again, it's not paved, but that's what they've accepted, apparently.
Are there any other questions? Well, let's move to the next case, please.
Next case is 2026-145 BOA. It's located at 2026 DeWitt Street. It is a request for a variance to allow a patio within the rear yard setback. The staff finding is no unnecessary hardship. There were no letters in support or opposition. This is the aerial photograph of the property in question. Future land use map. The property owner notification boundary. Existing zoning map. The property is zoned R6. And the site plan submitted by the applicant. Since we didn't have a current survey of the property, or the applicant did not, so we did our best to help the applicant to assist them with drawing on the patio to the best of the dimensions that we could. We went ahead and included the dimensions in writing and noted that this is not to scale, so to make sure that inspections would know to follow the written dimensions and not anything to scale on the drawing. So the encroachment, if approved, would have to be followed based on those written measurements. The house was actually expanded several years ago in the rear of the property, so we did our best to kind of note that in this area right back here. This gray area was a physical expansion of the actual house. Then after that, they added this area of the patio that's a little bit further down, and that portion of it that's 11 feet long and approximately 24 feet wide. That particular part of the patio structure is what encroaches into the 20-foot rear yard setback. So there is also a 6-foot utility easement back there. However, they are not encroaching into the utility easement. So they are encroaching approximately 9 feet into the 20-foot setback. So it would be an 11-foot variance. And these are photos of the front of the house. Obviously, we didn't have access to the rear of the property, so we don't have pictures from back there. This is to the southwest of the subject property. And again, on the site plan, I am happy to answer any questions that y'all have.
I was wondering, so they are just trying to put a patio back there?
Yes, it is a covered patio.
And they already did it, or they would like to do it?
It has been constructed without a permit. It was also discovered by code enforcement for a construction of an illegal structure without a building permit. Once we realized that it was a code enforcement violation, we were able to see from aerial photography that it's been on the property since approximately 2021, but the applicant maintains that they need the patio to provide shade for their children and pets. Nevertheless, permit is required, but it was constructed without the permit, and they are now trying to remedy that.
Are there any other questions?
I do see a photo of the backyard with the patio and the cover, so that's what we're talking about, right? The picture that's in here.
Do we have it in the packet?
We do.
Okay, okay. Yeah, there is one in here that has the covered patio and the back fence.
Okay, yeah, we had some, I think those were actually taken by code enforcement. I apologize, I didn't get those for the,
One of the last couple of pictures
Okay.
in there.
let's see. Yeah. Oop, let's see. Ah, there we go.
Are there any more questions?
Does it interfere with any other coding issues?
With the,
Any other code problems?
Not that we're aware of, just the setback, according to code enforcement.
Yeah, there appears to be a 6-foot easement in the rear, but it's outside of that easement.
Yeah, the easement is most likely in this area right here. And then there's a few additional feet before you get to the patio and cover. It's a tight space back there, so it's a little hard to get the full view, but
Any more questions? Any additional comments from staff? And I just declare the work session as
okay.
You have to say 506 with the microphone on.
You have to say it with the microphone. They didn't hear you.
Oh, they didn't hear me? I'm sorry. The work session is officially adjourned.